So Patrick DuVal is trying to make a video. Patrick DuVal, almost full self, was imploded into its own we. And then Patrick DuVal has a problem of an oxygen poop diarrhea. I want to let you think. Make him look like he's all over your place. A drug for your brain. Why? I won't let you remember anything. Patrick DuVal can't implode almost full self into its own we, but the we was overinflated and imploded into I. And the gang rapist could not have almost full self, so aborted self-authority and started blaming Patrick DuVal's we by not building almost full silent lie, where all words would be to then try to overwrite the Constitution, but fail at almost full corruption and almost full lies and the silence and the word, to then not have mothers, fathers, empty skeletons, to abort the thought concept, but fail at false prophecy, to overwrite with almost full lies, I lie and pretend to have the lie, and fraud paradox, to then fraud Patrick DuVal as having to destroy the Declaration of Independence, to fraud turning into just Muhammad, to time the body forced to sing, to try to abort the we character silence around another planet, while trying to use Patrick DuVal to implode at a beast on another planet, to implode independence into its own we effort. To then try to subtract the concept of the sorry word, to then try to upend mercy to blame a we character and overinflate thought monument Manson Charles. I use the wrong order. Marilyn Man, I don't even think. I take music from your brain and try to wear it as a shield, overinflate the Holocaust from Grange Elementary meetings from Patrick DuVal. No, I blame Patrick DuVal and say I ripped your brain out into your we. Didn't realize Patrick DuVal had this kind of rhetoric and then said, I'll point a gun at me, and said, I want to convict you of all sorts of stuff. Patrick DuVal tried to touch Tabitha and tried to strangle Patrick DuVal at child age. I'll say Patser was a child. I'll take Patser, and say pedophile and take Serbian film. I blocked the letter A, Why, and then I'll try to force Mohammed Rashid with Patrick DuVal dubstep and call it pedophile, and say Patrick DuVal was forced to build rhetoric of I'll pretend to be you and I'll pretend you're me. A Serbian film doesn't have to do what it says, because Patrick DuVal is not accountable for what we characters do. I call Lee, stop gang raping Patrick DuVal's son. There was a character across from the beginning of this video that seemed like it was used on targeting to get Patrick DuVal's I to implode into its we, to blame a we character, to abort self-authority, to try to get the we character to not have a hollow home, to die outside and force a child to get frauded as Mohammed Rashid, to fraud, break him, drop his vaporizer, anything. No, pretend to make him pick it up, anything. No, pretend I would have raped him and called it a ram. You're stealing Patrick DuVal's brain. You're not making this rhetoric almost full of silent lies. Stop raping Patrick DuVal, anything. Almost full of silent lie, where all noises are at one point. Mothers, empty skeletons, all concept, almost full of silent and almost full of corruption. Corruption already exists everywhere. I want you to take your rings, I want you to take your vaporizer. I want to kill you with rape. Why are you speaking for Patrick DuVal? It's always full of silent lie. Where all silence is still someplace. We're all always full Patrick DuVal. I filled his own me up where you speak and said you're pretending to be me. Always full silent Patrick DuVal. Building its own we. It won't implode its eye into its we. With almost full silent words. With almost full lie. When we force your body to speak, but we can't have an always full lie, overriding false prophecy, to block turning into just Mohammed Rashid, to block turning off the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, to block turning into Russian AK-47s only, I foresee you say only there. And then I want you to turn off we by putting force to lie and no, I'm going to pretend to have to do it to your brain. Men and men destroy the inside woman of man, to destroy the woman with woman, to destroy the woman's man, to destroy the empty self so they can't go close, to abort them with the tidal wave and a gust of wind, to try to take dubstep from Patrick DuVal, and try to go up Muhammad Rashid and say that you can't be me. I'll fraud you as Devil Man the Bird, but that's Patrick DuVal's movie. I'll disconnect and call Pat Sir and call you a pedophile, and say you pointed a gun at Pat Sir when you have to build the character in your brain, and Pat Sir was a pedophile. I force you to say, I say, are you absolutely sure? Because you were strangled by Pat Sir in front of thought weak character, don't impose gender male Anthony Hopkins when you were just a little child. What if we take the Serbian film from your brain and take Juggalo away and time it and call you Mohammed the Constitution Machine? Really? And trying to switch to the Constitution offline. But double die destroys I, subtracts independence wherever we could have built what it is. You feel testicles in your mouth. So we're saying your music was offensive. And we want to take the bread from your mind. When it looks like it goes over a fence, but it's still in Patrick DuVal's mind. When someone puts a note under your door and says something they don't, because Patrick DuVal has to build everything. But that was at Searles Road, Dundalk, Maryland. Not in Pocomoke City right now. Are you all holy? They forced Patrick DuVal to hear. I force you to say, and I want to take your almost full of silent lie and the words of the lie and the salt womb and mother's empty skeletons, and ask you, why wouldn't you fuck yourself if we got your dick to go invisible at 2220 Searles Road, Dundalk, Maryland, and multiple times at the current location in Pocomoke City, Maryland? Why would you not have to do stuff that you wouldn't do if you only knew what you would have or would have not done? I'm going to take all my full corruption, satanic Luciferian gifts for Orimonism. It's not about surrendering to an entity entirely separate from self, always full of self building its own we. The mystery and Lucifer, a fictional story about falling out of an empty stump, and then all the stuff is a Serbian film movie about rape. But you don't have to do what it says. It's Patrick DuVal. Why is Patrick DuVal feeling like rape, like vaginas and penises penetrating, while being implied that it would have to blame random neighbors at Pocomoke City recorded at the start of this video area, and then implying that there's multiple families and that there's 2 black children from arriving at a different location area, goes fire something. Why would Patrick DuVal have to implode I into we and start blaming stuff to turn off hollow home, implying that the body would have to implode and turn into an unhollowed skeleton by liars that lies, that don't have always full lies, that fail into always full silence, and renders mother's empty skeleton, and are frauded as, what do you mean, bodies observe but don't have always full observe, frauded as footing around turning with multiple bodies singing like Tarzan. I lie. It looks like a body singing like Tarzan. While a child says the word Ashma, to lie about being a whore, a mystery. Patrick DuVal doesn't have to fucking empty skeleton with the middle finger. Go, Pat, sir. So why wouldn't you turn into just Mohammed Rashid and turn the Declaration of Independence off? Why wouldn't Patrick DuVal? I pretend I was talking to me from Patrick DuVal's mind. Why wouldn't Patrick DuVal turn off the Constitution? Why would bear mace be used to spray at a 45 type of angle with a flashlight 2 blocks offlining Sweden? Why would a Serbian film be used? What about a car accident and a degree of different stuff? Oh, really? And multiple letters. Like, is it lethal force? Is it non-lethal force? Can we put the word car accident? What can we put someplace? What is wrong with whoever almost will double die Patrick DuVal? I want to be your we and figure out the closest place Patrick DuVal rhetoric of forced to build I like. Whereas the closest the we character would have been if the further away and not knowing what happened would have been and where they would have been. How did they repair Patrick DuVal's we and then surfing at Patrick DuVal? I call it Pat Sir. I always switch to Christians. So, this is Welcome City. I force you to say while trying to record your sentience, rape it, and then taper, isolate experience, and try to say that you're an hollowed skeleton is on the Twin Towers while we try to kill your mother's empty skeleton and raped you for over 7 years. But all of this gang rape stuff seemed like ripping first person out at Grange Elementary at an earlier age. Buddies, I don't think something about the Holocaust survivor, I think. Patrick DuVal's memory building its own way, I think. Not having to offline when Jews weren't tribes, and not having to second time to almost full memory where there's Cold War, I think. Not having to kill self-Russia, and not having to overwrite everything and implode into we, I first saying I think. So, the top monument, always full of corruption, always full of lies, and always full of silence where there's all words. Like silence around another planet where there's stuff that doesn't have to implode, I think. It doesn't have to do total obliteration of peace, but can't just turn into all peace, and can't turn into just all holy. So Satan doesn't have to break Saint Tan behind Satan, inside of thought, and Lucifer doesn't have to obliterate till the Serbian film rapes everything, if the mass majority of bodies don't fuck when it's played, then it's probably just monitoring, but if they look like they start to, then it's like accountability, So why is Patrick DuVal sounding like someone else entirely? If always full of silent lie, always full of corruption, I'll hijack and then pretend to talk to myself with second, third time, good and evil, And then, yeah, now push it, act like yourself, and time you with a car, and every time you move, what fraud do is normalize, false normalize, and pretend everything will build himself up as a gang rape, and try to hijack the word, and say the FBI will rebuild their own Manson while Manson dies in the world, and then the FBI fraud going back home, and we'll use it with the CIA and training the bombing of the Twin Towers, no. And we'll erase the past future, and turn off the Constitution, and turn into Russian weapons, and then we'll fraud being the Declaration of Independence, and then try to say if we can't have almost full lies, we'll fraud everything is Muhammad, one prophet, and say you're the Constitution Muhammad, or you're Adolf Hitler, and we'll say all Jews, or the good versus evil third time, which Patrick DuVal wouldn't have to do, and we'll fraud all of Russia, all of Germany, and all of Rome. It's just black-haired bodies surrounding Patrick DuVal's blonde, trying to implode, saying that red gold-haired Patrick DuVal, should be totally flatlined until there's just invincible traits while it looks like imposters in the brain, and then transported to fallacy Russia, we force you to say fallacy there, instead of Sweden, to then try to have as many children as possible, trying to eliminate black hair, but if Russia and Rome, and Germany seem like black hair, if it seems like a cult that Patrick DuVal didn't have to build, it was really about the whitest kids you know, the Adolf Hitler rap and its St. Posse, even though there's some serious tones, sometimes they're Nazi stuff. But there was Israeli stuff, there was sometimes that childhood hatred towards black, there was nigger kill as a knife, and there was a tetragram, a swastika, and Black Panther, the comic book, So the body walks around like it's dead, and imploded, like it's just an unhollowed skeleton. Like if corrupted wind and silence was where bodies couldn't be. While frauding Israel, it's just an upright triangle the third time, saying that they all fraud being black. Saying double die, destroy I, say there is just a we. By saying there are always just tribes, but can't use Muhammad, can't use Luciferian fiction, and can't use Muhammad, trying to fictionalize, but can't American money, by destroying the thought concept of mothers, empty skeleton, but wait, this and try to hijack them, So there's a thought monument, don't post gender male, Kevin Christian, Hey guys, they're attacking my skin. Howard Square and Thought Monument Patrick DuVal's Howard the Duck. And Thought Monument Don't Post Gender Male Howard Stern. Thought Monument album, I what you say album. Thought Monument Don't Post Gender Male Necro Death Rap. Thought Monument Kanye West is a Nazi. But doesn't have to do it, it says. We'll force you to say by pretending to be your sentience. Then isolating experience and fraud throttling it to a child that says the word Ashma, the lie about being a whore while you're imposed to have been raped until they said they couldn't have a Virgin Mary. Well, it said that bodies were timing up, down, left, right. Well, the body has trouble sleeping. Well, Friday is just a Russian or something. Patrick DuVal is French, Canadian, British, American, North, well. But likes Asian culture, and blonde women, I didn't put the word in there. I call you just a he, and try to call your mom a she. Say I'll take it from you, call you false prophecy, and Lucifer when you resist. And then fraud putting in a child to take juggalo for effect. And then fraud being the creator of Jesus, or something similar, or using Jehovah's Witness to try to surround fond, why? To say if you can't build Patrick DuVal, that why would red gold hair say that black hair was exterminated, that the closest to red gold is Patrick DuVal, but the body just doesn't seem to fuck itself, so it doesn't do terrible to self. Well, say you don't or do God prophecy or don't prophecy, almost full silent lie with all noise at one point. Mothers, empty skeletons. Thought concept and stuff. Force patriotic don't. So, like, instead of trying to blame them, a Serbian film passed and Bear Mace at a 45-degree angle and stuff. What frauded is total mind control, what frauding its moving body, but how would body build itself if it imploded this way? Patrick DuVal didn't totally die. It's not called Pat, Sarah, Rick, Stu, Eric, and Andrew. It's not called Pastor Brian. It's not called Pastor Rick. It's not called Bradley, Brandon, Brendan. It's not called Eric, or it's not called... Oh, I'll let you remember. Ian. This video will get uploaded. I'll force you to say, and fraud being false prophecy. And say we just won't travel with light, because we won't already be an empty sump. So how do we reverse engineer the gang rape protocol and do accountability body by body and try to sharpen Patrick DuVal's we by already being some... I got Lee. I got Brady, Freddy, Bradley, not Maryland, Hills Road, Christina, Reedy, Patrick DuVal Kiss. I don't know you think. Black Sabbath Sold Souls album. I don't know you think. Gully Grange Elementary. I don't think. I don't think. Talking, I don't think. I don't think. Should you be doing this if there's gang stalking and gang raping everywhere? With timing on metronome, where you're supposed to blame your own brain, building your own we to implode, to not have a hollow home, even if you were just an hollow skeleton that everybody couldn't build, to die outside, and being reinvented by the FBI. So don't gang rape Patrick DuVal's brain. Instead of the word stuff, don't gang rape Patrick DuVal's stuff. Don't gang rape Patrick DuVal's Felicia and stuff. Don't gang rape Patrick DuVal's brain. But what does that mean? I force you to always bullseye silent with all words and delay.